Recording. So when we think about holding space for ourselves, it of course makes me think of my yoga practice. There's nothing quite like meditation, moving meditation, yoga, any contemplative practices that you have to really hold sacred space for self and be in presence with self. But then you think about what you cultivate there, and it just ripples outward to the space you hold at the dining room table with your family, to the space you hold for your friends, to the space you hold in your workspaces, where there's a lot of attention to the capacity to be present and listen as much as to offer yourself. So through our conversations, I really made me aware of how important quiet practices are. That we're all very busy in our minds. We get bombarded with things constantly. So to remember in your yoga practice that there's a time for movement and there's a time for stillness. And, really ideally, if we're kind of cultivating a practice just to be holistic, we want both. We want movement and we want stillness. So for today's practice, we're going to start with a little breath on our ball. So get yourself your squishy ball. And if you don't have it, it's not a problem at all. We can just do some gentle breath work. But we're going to kind of open up the sides of our bodies a fair amount today. And when we are in stillness, whether it's holding a pose still for a moment or lying down breathing for a moment or whatever opportunity you have for quieting the movement, try to open yourself up to sense what is there. Like really look inward to ask yourself, what's living in my body right now. The more we get good at asking the question, the more the truth of our emotional states will start rising, and we can give ourselves space and time to just be with instead of having to change or distract or busy ourselves away from what is happening. And if something comes up in your body at any time, whether you're being still or moving in your yoga practice, give yourself opportunity to diverge off the path. This is, I think, one of the most blessed things about practicing alone in your room, online with this kula, is that you don't have to listen to me. So if something is arising in you and you really want to explore it, I really encourage you to use in your intuition and your body presence to give you gifts through your practice. And it could be lying flat the entire time and breathing and just noticing what arises. Giving yourself time for that is just so very important. Okay, so let's sit up straight and tall. And um, as you close your eyes, kind of just recognize for yourself, are you a busy in the mind person? Are you a busy bee through your day? Do you give yourself time for contemplative practices? And as you settle into this posture, is it difficult or are you taking refuge? Does it feel like a homecoming or does it feel like, oh, I have to do this thing before we start moving? Okay. So notice your relationship to stillness. And of course, your relationship to stillness changes throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the years, depending on your energy levels, what's happening in your mind and body and heart. So what's right now feel like? And as you find a comfortable posture, create that comfortable posture. Do anything intuitively to give yourself more space, more support, whatever it is that you need. It could be changing your posture entirely and lying down. But if you're staying with me in this seated posture, take a moment to align well and then rest something, relax somewhere. And as you let go in whatever part of your body you just released in, can you let that be a cue and opportunity for a ripple effect of ease traveling around you, within you. And then invite the breath into these easeful places. Often the breath more readily moves to where we're already relaxed. And then as you pay attention to your breathing, notice where maybe it doesn't easily go. Notice how the mind feels in this moment. Is it comforting and easeful for you to just drop right into the breath, or is the mind a flurry? Try not to judge, just be present with. Anything that you're feeling is perfectly fine. You don't have to be a certain way. Just keep focus on the breath as best as you can. Keep focus on the easeful creating that you're doing. Is your mind beginning to feel respite, or is it still very flurry, attached, busy? And again, no judgment, just see what's happening. And maybe ask the emotional body to speak up a little bit. What's here? How do you feel? And try not to think about how you feel, but to just feel how you feel. You don't have to attach words to any sensation. And bring the hands together at your heart. And let this beginning calmness, this beginning quieting, give you an opportunity to notice what you need. And as you offer an intention for your practice, listen to that inner voice of whatever it is that your body mind is needing. And then release your hands down. And let's go ahead and find our way onto our back. So grab your ball. We're going to use it pretty quickly here, not right in the beginning, but before we get up off the ground. So find your way into some lying down posture. Stretch out your arms, stretch out your legs, and give yourself some space. And then when you're ready, you can stretch your arms overhead and enjoy some side body lengthening, and knowing that we're going to work with opening up this sideline of the body a little bit today. Let's take a moment to really feel what's happening in your shoulders and your ribs and in your hips. Find that sideline from your fingers all the way to your toes. All right, and then draw the knees into the chest, rock a little bit. Let the rocking give you that sense of ease, and see if you can take the ease and run with it. Run the breath through the ease. And hang on to the knees and let's circle. Notice your sacrum, let it float and rest on the ground. Go the other direction with your knees. All right, and then maybe taking your knees away from the midline, back toward, maybe you want to kind of zigzag and do each knee in its own little circle. Just kind of find how you want to warm up the hip joints. And then right knee and left leg stretching long. Let's go ahead and roll around in your ankles and wiggle through your toes and enjoy some movement in your feet. A good squeeze of your right knee, and then cross that right knee over to the left and stretch open to a twist. A deep breath in, a deep breath out. All right, coming back to center, pick up the head, round the spine a little bit, give a good hug, and then we'll switch sides. Head down, knee in, left knee in, move about in your feet again. Maybe the circling gets a little broader in its sensation. Maybe it travels up into your calves or shins. See if you can invert and evert the feet a little bit. That just means kind of wave the bottom of the feet left and then right, and notice the outsides of your shins, the peroneal muscles. And then we'll cross that left knee over to the right and stretch open through your chest. Sweep from your heart to your hands. Feed yourself some good deep breaths. And then we'll come back to center, bring that left knee in. Exhale your way up. Give a good squeeze of your head and knee. And then release your head down onto the ground. Stretch your limbs wide open, expanding through your body. Exhale, knees into your chest, rounding, collapsing, centering, hugging, all the things. One more time, expanding open. And then exhale, compressing in. All right, put your head down, rock a little bit again, here, left and right. All right, put your legs straight, cross your right leg over your left leg, and then drag your legs over to the right and banana your body so you're dragging your shoulders over to the right and stretch and open through the left rib cage, open through the left hip. Breathing here. And then come back to center, cross the left ankle over the right, pull your legs over to the left, lift up your shoulders and kind of scoot them over to the left, and then stretch into that right side of the body. To drop your right shoulder into the ground, right hip into the ground, right heel into the ground, and open up the breath. And then come back to the center. Put your feet on the ground. Pick up your hips and just give them a little bit of a shake. All right, drop your hips back down. Maybe a little bit of windshield wipering. You can turn your head in opposition. And then either right thigh over left thigh or reverse pigeon, right foot on left knee. So your choice of how you move into opening up your hips a little bit. Feel free to rock or pulse or be still or any kind of circling motion, anything that feels freeing and welcoming to the hips. Switching sides, left foot on right knee. And as we warm up through movement, okay, notice how the body or how the mind starts to live in the body through movement. Notice your embodiment through movement. And is it easier for you to feel the sense of presence in your body when there's movement? And pay attention to that compared to what we're about to do, where there's a little bit of presence in stillness. So just get to know how you access self best. And that doesn't always mean choose the easy way. Sometimes choosing which is harder, movement or stillness, is a good practice for us. Okay, so put your legs down for a moment. Drop your arms down at your sides like a little mini shavasana. Melt the back of your body. Notice where you're touching. Okay, bring your awareness maybe into the back of your head. Where's the next thing you notice? Is it your elbows or hands, or is it your hips or legs? Maybe it's your shoulder blades. Just follow where your attention in your body goes, depending on when you're looking for where you're touching the ground. Maybe it's your heels. And then take advantage of this moment here to just have a couple of deep, steady breaths. We breathe in full and we breathe out long. All right, and we're going to roll over onto our side. And we're going to practice a little bit of side breathing. So grab your ball. We'll take the block underneath our head so that we have a little space for our shoulder. And take the smushed ball, so about half full or so, underneath your, we're going to do 3 different spots here. So we're going to start with the ball kind of close to your armpit, under your upper ribs. Put the block on whatever height is comfortable for you, and take a moment to just breathe here. Can you quiet? I know that it's hard in the beginning of practice. Oftentimes we want to get our yayas out and move. So notice if it's harder for you to quiet the mind body or if it's easier in the beginning of practice. How does the breath feel here? You don't have to manipulate anything. You don't have to do anything in particular other than just notice your breathing. As you're doing this, of course, you might notice what's happening in the ribs, but also scan the body and notice if there's a body speak that's talking to you. Is there any part of your body that wants to be heard? And if you want to put words to it, ask the questions. It could be like, what color, what shape, what size, is there movement or stillness, jagged or soft or hard or smooth, or, ask questions of the sensation instead of trying to label the sensation. Nothing wrong with labeling sensations, but just for today, be curious. Let's walk the block a little bit lower when you're ready. If you want movement a little bit to kind of settle, you can do that. If anything needs adjusting, you can do that. What's the body saying now? And whenever you are ready, you can adjust and move the ball lower. And it can be in your side waist, it can be right at the lower ribs, kind of find the spot that's easeful for you. You can bend your knees, you can rock a little bit, you can be still. Anything at all. Sometimes you might notice that you need the ball a little less inflated. So, or maybe a little more inflated. If you're not able to find ease through this side body work, chances are you need to adjust the air in your ball. What's here? Can you relax into what you're experiencing? And then gently use your hands to push yourself up before you go to the other side. Notice what's happening. You can just lie on your back or sit up, however you want to transition. Notice the difference between your two sides. And then we'll go and do the same thing. So block under your head. The ball starts underneath your ribs. Remember, this is a good opportunity for you to inflate or deflate if you feel like you need it. Knees are bent to help soften you. Breathe your way into your ribs. What's here on this side? We may feel that stillness is challenging, but if you pay attention, there's actually a lot to notice. You might be noticing it in your breath. You could be noticing it all throughout your lungs, your heart, your internal organs, your back, your head. I mean, there's just so many places where you might be feeling a heightened awareness of sensation. So whatever part of the body is speaking to you, listen. Try not to attach storylines to anything you're feeling, but just observe and question what you're feeling. Ask your body to give you a description: hard, soft, cold, warm, shapes, colors, sounds, anything at all. And when you're ready, lower the ball down just a little bit. So now you're in the kind of heart of the ribs. Notice your breathing. Did it get shallow? Can you tend to your breath a little bit? What's here? Maybe your mind's still having a hard time resting, and that's okay. Just notice. And notice how different this is than when we do ball work where we're directing our breath a lot, which we often do when we're on our side here. When there's no direction, when there's just ease in the body, what rises? And then when you're ready, you can lower the ball to the side waist or anywhere that's your sweet spot. And notice what's here. And then we'll come off of the ball. Come to sit back on your heels or on a block for a moment. And just allow your body to be upright and breathe. Notice the breath moving through your ribs, through your lungs, mobilizing the rib cage. Is there a little more ease or spaciousness for your breath? How is the thinking mind doing? Is it calmer or is it fluctuating more? And then we'll come out of that and come on to all fours and start to very carefully and slowly, with a lot of presence, move through some cat-cows. Arching and rounding the spine. Maybe it feels good to move the vertebrae after the ball work. See if you can keep the heart of stillness living within the motion, within the movement. Can you stay present and quiet in the mind? Just observing breath and movement. And then move the body any way you want to move your body. Move the breath. And then stretch back toward a child's pose and walk the hands far out in front of you. Feel that reaching in your sides. Open things up and we'll walk over to one side and feel that grounding of your whole hand, fingers, palms, and then reach your hip away from that grounded palm and lengthen through the whole side. Feel it in your arm, your shoulder, your ribs, your waist, your hip. And then walk the hands over to the other side and notice if this side feels similar or different. Grounding the palm, grounding the fingers, stretch away from that groundedness, reaching through your arm, your shoulder, your ribs, your side waist, your hip. And then come back to center. Up onto all fours, move your spine a little more. And then reach one arm up in the air, give your wrist some movements, and then we'll exhale and drop that shoulder down for a twist. Let the spine open up here in this pose, breathing deeply. All right, and then find your way out of that posture, reaching the arm up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground, and we'll switch sides when you're ready. Okay. Lifting the arm up, give your wrist a little swirl, drop that shoulder down and twist. Breathing deeply here, a little pressure of that hand. Enjoy how the breath feels. And then we'll reach that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. Find a dog pose. As you lengthen upward, Feel that extension in your body. Take a little time, maybe pedaling your feet, dropping one heel, dropping the other, feeling a nice spaciousness in your legs. Is there still the heart of stillness that you found in the breath work, living in your moving posture? Focus on your breath and keep moving it full and steady. Ground in your posture, root and rise, get some space. And then we'll walk our feet forward and come to Uttanasana. Forward fold. Keep the heart of stillness in your practice here. A halfway lift, opening up. Maybe take a little time to pedal your feet here, dropping one hip way back. So as you move your feet, move your hips. And then ground your hands on tall blocks. Reach your heart forward, lift your sit bones, and we'll walk our blocks over to the right, just like that side pose we did in a child's pose. We'll have it here. Reach the left hip back, stretch the heart forward, spread and widen, and ground your feet. And then back to center. Walk the hands over to the other side and feel the hip reach away. Find your breath. And then come back to center, fold forward, bend your knees, let your spine lengthen. And then push through your feet, inhale and rise all the way up. Arms coming upward. Let's track open through a cactus stretch. Spread your wings, open the heart. Exhale, round in, chin to chest. Let's repeat. Inhale, up and wide. Exhale, rounding in. Reaching and extending, interlace your fingers, take your feet hip width apart or a little bit wider, and stretch up and over to the right. Ground through the left leg deeply, release any tension through the base of your skull. Coming back to center, over to the other side. How is your breath? Right, coming back up. A little cactus back bend in your heart space now. Open up and then release the hands. Give your hands a shake. Interlace your hands behind your back, and if that's not a comfortable place for your body, you can grab a strap to hold behind your back instead. Open up through your chest, lift your chin, and then as you're ready, bend your knees and lift your arms away from your spine. Soften through your skull. Let your shoulders open up. Find your breath. And then release the strap if you're using it. Take your hands down toward the ground. Inhale for a halfway lift, opening up through the body. Exhale, melting to fold. Step back to a dog pose. Extending your body again. Feel it. Maybe you're pedaling your feet, opening up those calves a little bit more. Come forward into a plank. Find that groundedness. Shoulder blades firm on the back. Hug to your hands to each other and press the ground. Finding that strength in the sides of your body. As you push the ground away, feel those serratus muscles engage. Okay, our knees can come down first to support us. Come down onto your belly. Inhale, cobra. Is the heart of stillness living in you still? One more time. Come up onto all fours. Turn your your right shin out perpendicular. And we'll take our right hand, right knee, and left foot on the ground, Vasisthasana. Reach that left arm up in the air, and we'll take the left arm over our head. Stretch that whole side of your body. And then come back to center, back onto your hands. Let's turn our left shin perpendicular, left hand, left knee, right foot lining up. Reach that right arm up in the air. As you do this pose, ground yourself. And when you feel ready, stretch that arm overhead for that side body stretch. Stabilize your shoulder blade on your back. Whole hand print. Press your shin into the ground. And then come back onto all fours. Wag your tail, cat-cow your tail, do a child's pose. What is it that you want? Maybe you need some wrist rolling. Listen to the body and follow. And we'll come up onto our shins, rising up, open the chest. Exhale, hands down onto the ground. Grab some blocks if you'd like. Bring your right foot forward. Lift up your back knee up off the ground, and we'll start to move through some front leg motion. So bending your front knee and bending and then straightening it. Live into the breath. Slow yourself down. Even though we're moving and having a moving practice, can it be from a sense of quiet and stillness in the mind? Use your breath as your tool, telling you where to go. All right, ground through your legs. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, open up. Feel the breath, lift the heart. Maybe look up. And then we'll look forward, grab onto the left wrist with the right hand, and find that side lunge or side stretch here. Feel free to soften the back knee a little bit. Protect your back with your core. And then come back up. Hands down onto the ground, back foot comes forward. A halfway lift, opening through the spine. Exhale, release. Let your legs open up. Step your right foot back, come to a lunge this side. Ground yourself. When you feel ready, we'll go ahead and start to move, bending and straightening through that front knee. Try to live in the pace of your breathing. Let you the slow practices teach you the art of kind of an internal quiet. Round into your legs, root down, take your time, find a crescent when you're ready. Arms coming up, heart lifting. Maybe look up for a moment so you sense into that expansive energy of upward, outward. And then we'll reach on, look forward, reach onto the right wrist with the left hand and rise out of your hip. Try not to crunch through your left side. See if you can keep that hip dropping down. Try not to hike the left hip up. Come back to center, hands down onto the ground, dog pose. A full breaths here, in and out. Come forward into a plank. Find a breath here, push the ground away, and then we'll find the ground. Take the arms wide out in front of you or any other back bend that you choose and stretch your front spine open. Big breath in. As you exhale, Melt toward the ground. Pick up your feet and rock a little bit left and right. And then put your feet down. Keep your head on your hands and breathe. What are you noticing now? Come back up. You can move through a dog pose and then walk your feet forward, or you can just come to stand up, however you like to transition. And we'll all meet standing up. Let's pause in Tadasana for a moment. Notice the stillness. Unlock your knees. Notice if mountain pose tends to be kind of a reset for you. Notice if you want to move, if it's like, oh, this is just supposed to be a transition to the next thing. Let it be the thing. Quiet the mind, steady the breath, ground yourself. Does it feel good to be still? How's your mind doing with the stillness? Stay with your breath. Now we'll take our legs wide, so turn sideways on the mat. Let's just warm up our inner thighs with a deep squat. Open up your knees. If you like rocking, you can rock. If you like stillness, be still. Come on up, standing star, a big breath in. Then we'll turn our right foot out and come into Parsva Konasana. Stretching open through that side body. We've been here on the ground in Vasisthasana. Now feel it in Parsva Konasana. A big breath in, a big breath out. Ground yourself. Feel your legs find you. So just like that Tadasana, can you feel a deep grounding and a deep stillness of the legs? Come on up. And we'll do the same pose, other side. Adjust your feet to a place where your body is comfortable. Elbow on your knee, stretching the arm open. And maybe you're finding support in a different way. Maybe you're practicing like we did last week with your block against a wall, protecting your knees. See, always take the path that your body's asking for. So this quiet inner listening gives us the tools to notice our intuition, to notice the body speak and what it's asking for. Scan to notice any tension, melt what you need to. Use the legs as grounding forces. Come back out of the pose. Walk your feet in and find that mountain pose one more time. We're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana. And as you do this, notice if the quieting of the mind that you've created has given you some stability for this posture. Turn your right foot out, grab a block, and we'll come into Ardha Chandrasana. Now, I'm not giving a lot of cues, body cues today. See if you can keep the mind quiet and just listen to the body. And you know what to do. You know how to hold yourself in this pose. So commit to the stability and then listen to the body. Let the quiet of the mind be here. Let the breath be here. And then come out of the pose. And let's do the second side. So regardless of whether you're feeling steady or not steady, try to keep the peace of the mind, detached from results, even detached from effort. See if you can just listen. Support yourself. You do what your body knows to do to find stability in this pose, and then listen. Coming out the way you came in. And one more time, we'll find Tadasana. If you want to give your legs a little shake in between or come up onto the toes, and if you need to release, do a little release, and then find stillness again. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, floating forward. A halfway lift. Extend the heart. Exhale and fold. Back to a dog you go. Feel that openness in your sides. Lift your hips and move them back. Come forward into a plank. Lower yourself down. Any back bend you choose. Exhale to release. Back up, move around your spine as much as you want and meet in child's pose. Are you supported enough to stay here for a few breaths? Is your position comfortable? Do you need anything different? Imagine you've got Harry Potter's wand and you're just pulling all the unnecessary thoughts out of your mind and into the pensive. All right, come back up. We'll find support for pigeon pose. So whatever you like to use, grab your props. And we'll take our right leg in front first. If you're in reverse pigeon, that's great. You just find the right pose for you for today. As you square your hips and extend the spine, when you come down, melt your head on something. Rediscover the stillness that we've been trying to find. Feel your way into your breath. and melt something here. You feel ready? Transition how you like. Maybe you're of the sort that moving back to a dog pose feels releasing and good. Maybe just sitting up and switching side feels good. So transition to the other side, and maybe you're in a different pose on this side. There's always choices. Accommodate your body's needs. The greatest tool we can gain from our yoga practice is learning to listen to our bodies and then trust what we hear, trust what we feel, and accommodate. Make choices based on what you're sensing. Oh, find your way out of this posture. Come on to your back and transition to Shavasana however your body needs. Maybe you need a bridge on a block, maybe you need a happy baby, maybe you need a twist. What do you need? Can you listen for what you need instead of just doing what you always do or what you think you should do? Instead of thinking, do the feeling. And take your time to transition towards Shavasana. And as you're deciding, the position you want to be in, remember you don't have to be flat on your back. You can very much be in a different position. You can be on your side, like we were for the breath work. You can be legs up the wall. You can be in a child's pose over a bolster. So many choices. So ask your body once again, what does it want? And if you discover something, follow. Make sure you're not distracted by props touching you. Make sure you're warm. Make sure you don't have any bright lights on you. Feel free to spread your arms and legs a little wider if you're on your back. You don't have to always be so close in. Or maybe you're really wide and you're like, oh, I think I'd rather be a little closer in. So just find the perfect ease for this moment. And then melt. Remember that you can adjust. You don't have to lock yourself in. But see if you can allow a quieting, a stillness to naturally take hold. Just as we did the breath work earlier, find the breath now. Let's begin deepening our breath. Notice the quiet in your body and mind. Take your time for movement. Transitioning your way to your side slowly. And as you come to your seat. Find your breath. Just enjoy. Enjoy the groundedness of your practice, the presence with yourself, the quiet of the mind. Let's give this gift outward to another. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thank